When I announced my 25,000 subscriber special Q&A, I got a lot of questions on how many and which K-pop concerts that I have been to. I know that Q&A is long overdue. I'm actually putting that off for my first ever podcast episode. So when I get my podcast properly set up, that will be the first episode on that podcast. So I haven't forgotten about that Q&A. I just have had a lot of stuff come up, and I figured the best way to get that out was to do it in podcast form because I had so many questions. I thought it would be pretty fun to go through all the K-pop concerts I have personally been to. I have been to officially 14 concerts in the last 2 years, which to some people is not a lot. To some people, that is a ton because they have maybe never been to a K-pop concert. A lot of it has to do with me getting pretty lucky and a lot of K-pop groups coming to my area or places that we are able to drive to around me. In this video, I'm going to rank the concert experiences. So this is not a bona fide group ranking or performance ability ranking or song ranking or which group is better than the other one. Like, no, this is the whole concert experience I had, which there's a lot of factors that play into that. The people I meet and interact with, the venue, the staff, the overall performance. So please do not use these rankings as an excuse to shit on a group or say a group is better than another group or say one group's music is objectively better than the others. Like, no. I have rarely had any negative experiences at any K-pop concerts I have been to. Maybe I've just gotten lucky, but the people I've interacted with have been super nice, and overall the experiences have been very positive. So while this is a ranking, I don't want the 14th place group here to be looked down upon. As toxic as the K-pop community can be online and also in person at concerts, my experiences have been primarily positive at these concerts. K-pop fans love to bicker with each other online, but when you actually go in person to a concert and meet up in person, I feel like a lot of that hatred and vitriol ends up disappearing because you remember that you guys just like music, you have common interests, and you don't have to fight and bicker over whose bias is better than the other. Obviously, I'm not speaking for every fan that's gone to a K-pop concert or any of your guys' experiences, but mine have been relatively positive. So this list is bound to change. In fact, in a couple of weeks, I see P1 Harmony again, and I see 5 more groups this year. So this list is ever changing. This is not concrete, but I figured it'd be a fun time before I go see some of these concerts to kind of make this video and look back at the end of the year and see how things have changed. Omega X ends up landing at 14th, really just by default. I was not a fan at all of the group when I went to see them perform. I really just went with my sister, who was a fan, and she wanted someone to hang out with at the concert, so I ended up going, and they gave off a really great performance. They went to a venue that was a little bit maybe too big for their fan draw. They went to a venue that held like maybe 2,500 to 3,000 people, and only like maybe 400 to 500 fans showed up, and that's because Omega X isn't exactly a big group, and if you're going to go to the area where I'm from, not a huge K-pop hotspot, you're probably not going to bring in a ton of fans. However, I don't think the members actually let the lack of fan turnout affect their performance. They were easily top 3 when it came to choreography and dancing ability out of all the concerts I've been to. They were going crazy. I don't have a ton of videos or photos from this event either. I'll try to flash videos and photos up as this video goes on from the events that I've personally been to. I didn't get a ton from that concert because I was just kind of vibing to the music. When I saw them in concert was also around the time that some stuff started coming out about the company they used to be under and some of the terrible things that were happening to the group. They were really good live, and they actively tried to make an effort to sing live as well. It is really expected, I think, at a lot of K-pop concerts you go to for the group to sing live. Music shows are one thing, but when people are paying a lot of money to see you at a concert, I think it is an obligation for you to at least attempt to sing live. And the members of Omega X were definitely trying to make the effort, but the sound team was definitely not doing them any favors. I saw a few of the members pretty frustrated with the lack of coordination by that staff. I just don't really love a lot of Omega X's music, and I wasn't a fan when I saw them, so this concert ended up being a little forgettable for me, which is why they are unfortunately at 14.
Don't stop, 마지막 춤을 every day, every night. Oh, baila, baila conmigo. 너와 발을 맞추고 이 맘이 새도록 baila conmigo, conmigo.
ONEUS is a concert that I had a lot of fun at, got to go with a group of people that I enjoy hanging out with. They performed at a bigger theater in my area, which I thought at first maybe they wouldn't get a huge amount of fan turnout because ONEUS is a decently sized group, but they're not massive. But they actually did pull a pretty decent audience, and they were super energetic. They were great dancers live, and out of all the groups I've seen, they went through like 3 or 4 outfit changes. They had a whole wardrobe back there. I'm a pretty casual fan of ONEUS, but I do like a lot of their title tracks, and a lot of their B-sides they chose to perform were very high energy, good energy performances, which ended up getting the crowd pretty hype. I didn't take like any photos or videos from this event at all. I just put my phone down and had a fun time. I even got an interaction with a few of the members. For context, I go to a lot of concerts in Louisville, Kentucky, because I'm just near that area. And every single K-pop group that comes to Louisville always says something about KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't like KFC, and a lot of people from the Louisville metro area don't like KFC either. So when one of the members brought up KFC, I remember very vividly and loudly saying, no, don't eat at KFC. Again, this is no shade to ONEUS at all. I like a lot of their music. I think they're good performers. I just don't have much else to say. It was just a good concert, but I think the rest of the ones above this were better or more memorable for other reasons. Some longtime viewers of the channel may know that Dreamcatcher is my old group, and this was my first K-pop concert I ever went to, so you would think it would hold some nostalgic value, and it does to a degree. It is why it isn't 13th or 14th. And Dreamcatcher themselves gave off a good performance, especially in the conditions for the day. It was very hot in the area, like it was upwards of 95, 96 degrees, and people were standing outside waiting for Dreamcatcher for like upwards of 5 to 6 hours. I went 5 hours early because it was a standing GA, and I know how K-pop fans can be with how early they can get to concerts. So I decided to go 5 hours early, and I was still 250 to 300 people deep in the line, and we were waiting around in the beaming sun, 96-degree humid ass heat, and people were sweating. There were people who were fainting. I remember there was a younger boy who had crutches who was in the GA standing section in the front. This is the same venue that Omega X went to, so this venue was packed. Dreamcatcher filled out the venue. I don't know what ended up happening to this young boy, but I remember his mom and someone else literally dragging him out of the pit because he had like fainted. I believe the staff let them go up top because there was kind of a balcony area that was a lot easier to see. It was a lot less packed. At least I hope they went up there. But all day, the heat was draining the energy out of people. So by the time everyone already got into the venue, people were already tired, which ended up, I think, impacting the endurance of the crowd during the concert. Dreamcatcher's music is really fun, hype, loud music. They make rock-based music. So when Dreamcatcher tells you to jump, you better fucking jump. Except a lot of those energy-intensive songs came at the tail end of the performance, and a lot of fans were super dead tired by then, and people just were not getting as hype as they probably should have. Two of my biggest criticisms for K-pop fans is why I didn't enjoy this concert as much as I probably should have. One is phone usage. K-pop fans use their phones so much, and there was so many phones in this crowd for this venue. My sister basically couldn't even see. We were standing behind some pretty tall people in the middle of GA, and she could rarely see any of the members on stage during the entire performance, not because of tall people, but because people were constantly using their phones. She basically had to look through other people's phones to see the performance. I don't hate all phone usage, just don't record the entire performance. Like, don't record 15 minutes in a row. Record your little fan cam for a minute and a half or a part of a performance, but don't record the entire thing. It's so fucking annoying. And I think phone use impacts this next criticism, but really just how hype a crowd gets during a K-pop performance. Again, Dreamcatcher, rock-based group, a lot of their music is their music gets you really energized. Like whenever I listen to Break the Wall or Scream, I just want to go play Doom Eternal. But the crowd was so mild. There was barely anyone looking like they were having fun. They were just like recording the members on their phones. I think the members did really well, especially given how hot it was in the area that day. I don't really have criticisms towards their performance ability. I thought they did fantastic, but it just really sucks that the concert took place on a very hot, humid day, and people were already drained and tired when the performance was basically just starting. It wasn't a perfect first concert experience, but it was really cool to see my old group as my first K-pop concert.
I'ma get it, get it, get it, get it. I'ma get it, get it, get it, get it. 갈수록 걸리는 걸 끝이 다가올수록
So I listened to a ton of Card when I was a fledgling K-pop fan, and then I kind of stopped for a few years. But they were coming around my area after I believe JSF got out of the military, and they were really, really great live. I think they're all fantastic performers, especially BM. I do not over exaggerate when I say BM is one of the best male K-pop idol dancers that I've seen, especially for his height. He had a lot of energy, knew exactly how to play around with the crowd. They were super professional, great live performers. Awesome venue they performed at as well. They have a ton of really super fun title tracks, and they gave off some solo performances as well. I just don't particularly love a lot of their B-sides, and I also don't listen to a ton of their discography often, so I didn't vibe with all the music, but still enjoyed myself, and the people I hung out with at the concert were really nice as well.
All these lies are fake, let's flip a coin. 말해봐 해도 돼. 네 명을 정해줄게. I'll be a more alive. 이제 한번 더 let's flip a coin. 인터넷에 해도 돼. 모두 정해져 있지. Just only with you. Pleasure, but not time to flip a coin.
So Pixie are a new group. They're relatively small, and they went to a smaller venue that can fit maybe 400 to 500 people comfortably. I actually ended up rushing to this concert after I got done with the calculus final. I also got tickets that allowed me to go to my first ever fan sign event, which was honestly less of a fan sign and more of just like a line where you get your album signed and say hi to the members. Some of my family members made some bracelets, which a few of them ended up wearing on stage during their performance, so that was pretty cool. Believe it or not, Pixie are actually the birth of this YouTube channel. I first started off with K-pop reactions, and the first group I ever reacted to was Pixie. So yeah, that's some hidden Taeju lore right there, but I wanted to go see them live because they were essentially the start of my YouTube channel. And again, I wanted to support them. They were a smaller group. They'd just gotten a new member at the time, going on tour for the first time. The turnout was actually pretty solid, a lot of passionate fans there, and I thought they gave off a really fantastic performance. There was actually some lore set design involved. They had some theatrics going on, and they were really, really good live singers, especially Dia. She is an ace. They were very interactive with the audience. I thought they did a really great job. And the only reason this isn't higher is because it was maybe a little short of a concert. Their discography isn't too long, but it was really fun. So I'm going to count the Lollapalooza performances as concerts because New Jeans literally performed their entire discography at Lollapalooza. The crowd turnout for New Jeans at Lollapalooza, I'm not joking, was insane. You would just have to be there to believe it. There was easily 60 to 70,000 people alone who just showed up for New Jeans at Lollapalooza. This was their first ever performance in the United States, and they had to do it under some intense heat. It was really, really hot that day. Like, I feel bad for the people who had to stand in GA. I was over in the VIP section. We got VIP tickets for the entire weekend, so for every single performance, we were standing in the much less crowded VIP area, which was so nice. I got a ton of really good videos and a lot of photos without, like, obscuring anyone's view. I also remember the Rose showed up to watch them live. They walked over to this kind of like enclosed VIP area. Lollapalooza is primarily live band stuff, so all of their music they performed were remixes, and I thought a lot of the remixes were really great, and I thought they gave off a really, really good live performance. Like, they were singing live. I don't know how hard or easy it is to tell on the replays you can find online from Lollapalooza, but you could hear it in person. Again, New Jeans, really young members in this group, so I can only imagine how nervous they must be to be performing in such a vast crowd. Like, they did some drone shots, and it was insane. And you can kind of hear it in some of the recordings, but the crowd was so loud during some of their bigger tracks, like Oh My God and Super Shy. I have some tough critics in my family when it comes to live music performances because they've been to so many concerts in their lifetime, and they said they were shocked by how good New Jeans was live. The fact that New Jeans drew that kind of crowd at the Chicago Lollapalooza, I know some K-pop fans out there, they love to flex the other Lollapaloozas worldwide. The Chicago one is the big one. Like, that is the one everyone shows up for. The fact that they were able to draw that large of a crowd is insanely impressive, and I thought they gave off a performance to match, so. The only time I will ever see a K-pop group twice is if they come within driving distance to me, where I can drive to the concert, watch the concert, and drive back to my house in the same day. And Dreamcatcher is one of those groups that satisfied those criteria. Dreamcatcher came back over to the United States and even stopped in Canada for a few spots that had high demand that didn't get hit on their last tour. One of those was Cincinnati, which is what I went to, and I thought they gave off a really great performance. I liked it a lot better this time because I wasn't waiting outside for like 5 hours because it was a seated GA venue. I was further back from the stage compared to the previous concert, but it was actually well ventilated in the venue, so it was actually a comfortable viewing experience, especially when you're not huddled around other people. I also got to see Demian live, which was just a bucket list moment. That was my song of the year last year, for context. And they gave off great energy as usual. Dreamcatcher are a group that I would highly recommend you should see live if you have a chance, if they're coming near you. Even if you're not a fan, I would recommend going and seeing them live because they are just great performers. They sound great live. They're great dancers. They keep up the energy the entire night. Because of Dreamcatcher's growth over the last year or two as a group, they've been going on a ton of tours recently. I don't expect them to come to the US again anytime soon. I may see them again if they come relatively close to me. If they're not, then I probably won't see them again. But even though they are my old groups, they only fall in at number 8, which should tell you how good some of these following concerts were. Because if I'm putting my old groups at 12 and 8 respectively, have some tough competition to work with here. So Luna was the second K-pop concert I ever went to, and I got to see them on their tour that they had right before they disbanded. It was the tour where a ton of members either got sick or got injured. It was a real mess because they tried to fly through a ton of cities, and you could tell it was physically and mentally impacting some of the members. Now, at the time of seeing them, I actually wasn't the biggest fan of the group. I hadn't listened to their entire discography. I mean, I listened to a lot of their music, but it wasn't like a bucket list group I needed to see. I also didn't know they would be disbanding in a year. So in retrospect, it was really great to see them live before they ended up disbanding. The group was fantastic live, even with how obviously tired they were for how this tour was treating them. They had a lot of material they could go through because they had all their solos and a ton of comebacks, so there was a lot of content within the concert. There were so many Luna light sticks, guys. I'll show you some of the videos and photos I got from this, but there was so many light sticks at this concert, and the concert I went to was the concert after the whole Kim Lip situation that happened. Each of the Luna members have a respective color, and so during a lot of the performances, especially during Kim Lip's parts, the Luna fans would switch the color to Kim Lip. I will also say Luna arguably had the best encore section of a concert that I've been to. Hi Hi was such a fantastic note to leave off on at the concert, like starting with the official debut of the group. My bias immediately became Hyunjin after that concert. She was just so much fun on stage. And there was just a lot of energy. It was at the same venue as the Dreamcatcher concert, and I waited like not even half the time compared to the Dreamcatcher concert. I waited around for like 2 hours this time around for GA and got in the same exact place as I did for Dreamcatcher. So kind of learned that Dreamcatcher 5 hour wait was maybe not worth it. This one is really high up on the list just because of retrospective bias, because they are no longer a group. The members are thriving in different groups now, and it was just really nice to look back and see, like, hey, I was able to see them before they disbanded, and it was also a really good concert to boot, so.
3, 2. Quick car, I'm hot. My book and boom is all spotlight. 날 봐, I'm star, star, star. Quick car, I'm top. I'm twerking on the runway. I am a queen car. You wanna be the queen?
I know the way you're supposed to say this group's name is Idol, but I say G-Idol, just to avoid any sort of confusion when I'm talking about an idol. I went to go see G-Idol live and actually had some pretty good seats. I was a few rows from the front, and they did not disappoint. G-Idol are a fantastic live group. Their music is amazing. They have such a fantastic discography to work with. Like, their title track Run is incredible. They rarely miss. They performed some of their biggest songs like Tomboy, and getting to see Queen Card live was just incredible how loud the crowd got specifically for that song. They also performed a few KDA songs, which is a skin line in League of Legends. A few of the members of G-Idol, Miyeon and Soyeon, were representing characters in League of Legends, Ari and Akali, respectively. And as someone who eats, breathes, and sleeps League of Legends, it was really cool to see those songs live. They also did their own solo performances, like Soyeon did a few of her songs, Miyeon did her solo debut. We seriously need to start talking about Minnie more as a vocalist because she gave off one of the most incredible live vocal performances during her solo performance. It was breathtaking. Everyone looked like they were having a ton of fun. There was just this very positive vibe, not only with the audience, but the members. The backup dancers were amazing. They looked like they were having a ton of fun. They're going on tour, coincidentally, at that same venue again, but it isn't really a day trip for me, so I don't plan on seeing them again. But I will say, I would highly recommend seeing them live if you have the opportunity to. They are so much fun. Especially Soyeon, she just has this presence on stage, this like raw aura factor. You can tell she takes her job so seriously. And the results show on stage. Like, she's a fantastic live performer. They also had so much merch from the tour that I got, and you could get it online too. Instead of having to wait at the venue to get it, you could get it at the venue, but you didn't have to. I ordered all mine online, which was like super convenient. Just outside of the top 5 for me. Really, really great stuff, though. So TXT headlined Lollapalooza a year after they went when J-Hope headlined, and TXT gave off an amazing, amazing performance. There was a ton of fans who also showed up for the TXT performance. I would say it was less than New Jeans, but still a shit ton of people. And I know that everyone right now is piling on top of Hybe for being a company that doesn't know how to vocally train their idols, and I agree, but TXT are great live. They were singing and they sounded good. I think the ambiance was also really great because there was this like light rain that was showering the entire performance. It wasn't enough to get everyone like soaking wet and the grounds to get muddy. It was just like barely a rain, but I don't know, that was super atmospheric to me, especially when they were performing Sugar Rush Ride and like the fireworks were going off at the top. Like, it was such a fun time and everyone in the crowd was just super hype. I will not be showing audio with these clips because I was screaming my lungs out and I sounded terrible. There was a lot of great set design. I think the performance was the perfect length. Honestly, I think it was how a K-pop concert should be. Just the vibes were immaculate. But there were still 4 concerts that I think were better than this one, that I personally made more memories at or just had more fun at.
Have a bad behavior, bad behavior, bad behavior, bad behavior, bad taste, bad yum, like caviar. Have a bad behavior, bad behavior, bad be higher, bad be happier, bad behavior.
Purple Kiss was a great concert. They performed at the same venue that Pixie did, and I got tickets to not only go to the little fan sign they were doing, but also to get some pictures with some of the members. Wasn't really the reason I got the tickets. I just got the VIP plus tickets to actually get there early, so wasn't like stuck in the middle of GA, but I was able to get some pictures of some of the members. I'll show some of those on screen. I also met a really good group of friends there as well who I've gone to some other K-pop concerts with since, and that really made the experience a lot more enjoyable. And Purple Kiss really put all their effort into some of these performances, especially Swan. She was leaving it all on stage. I felt really bad that she had to go take all those pictures after the performance because you could just tell she was absolutely dead tired. The tour company that they were under has done some other groups as well that I've been to, including the Viviz concert coming up, and they always have really great merch selections from all the concerts that you can go to. They aren't official light sticks, but if you want a light stick at a concert, they will literally sell light sticks at concerts. They also had signed albums at Purple Kiss's concert for like $40. You could get a signed version of their most recent album. And it's not like a printed on signed album. It's like an actual signed album, which now looking back at it, I really feel bad for the members because they must have signed so many albums. I think all of it culminated to be a really good experience to meet some people that now I'm good friends with now, to meet the members and, take pictures with them. And then their performance was fantastic. I thought it was all just really, really fun time. Everglow went on tour after their Slay comeback, and they stopped by my area, and it was kind of like a bucket list group for me because I've been listening to Everglow since their debut, and I love a lot of their music. They are similar to Dreamcatcher in the way that they make very loud music that should get a crowd very hype. I think my biggest criticism from this whole concert experience was the fact that, again, the crowd was not nearly hype enough during Pirate. Like, are you kidding me? I should see the soles of your shoes at least 4 inches off the ground during Pirate. But no, I just saw people standing around recording. It was a little disappointing. Now, my mother surprised me with front row tickets after my semester ended. I'll show some pictures and videos on screen, but I was very close to the stage. I tried my best to not take a ton of photos or videos at this event, really just vibe out and have a fun time. I was trying to bring the energy to the front row. Respectfully, of course. I didn't want to ruin anyone else's experience around me. But because I brought the energy, I actually ended up getting a lot more interactions with the members of the group. Like, if you're going to take anything away from this video, please start experiencing the actual concert that you paid money to go to. Do not record the entire thing to upload onto your YouTube channel or to watch back an hour and a half later. Please just experience the concert. Be there. With TXT and Everglow and P1 Harmony, I took so much less video and I ended up having so much more fun because the best memory making device is up in your brain, not on your phone. Tangent aside, the best interaction I got all night was at the very end of the concert when the members were throwing out these signed ping pong balls as memento. And me and Aisha, who is my bias, had a ton of interactions all night, probably over a dozen. Also, little concerning, Aisha was performing in like this cast she had on her arm. Don't know if that was a company decision to make her perform or if it was her own personal decision to stick out the performance. Either way, felt kind of bad for her. But me and her, we'd had a ton of interactions all night, and so she deliberately walked over to me and basically gift wrapped me this ping pong ball, and I still dropped it onto the stage, and then it rolled over, hit Anda's boot, and then they turned, looked at it, picked it up, and then laughed hysterically, and then basically handed it to me. You could definitely tell that the company had a lack of budget on this tour. There wasn't a ton of set design or like backup dancers or stuff. It was really just them performing their songs, and I think they did the best with what they could have, but because of all the interactions I got with the members and being in the front row and just vibing out to the music, it ended up being one of my favorite K-pop concerts that I have been to. Now, when it comes to pure performance ability, singing live, dancing, the whole thing, P1 Harmony is the best concert hands down that I have been to. They know how to perform. They have dancers. Kiho is a fantastic live vocalist. All the members in that group sang live the entire night and sounded fantastic. The vibes were perfect. This was the night of the Super Bowl in Nashville, and they still had a massive turnout. P1 Harmony, guys, they have such an underrated discography. Please go listen to P1 Harmony's music. Some of their B-sides are great. I would recommend literally listening to any one of their albums. I do not stan a lot of boy groups. I'm a girl group stan. I talk mainly about girl groups on this channel. I listen to actively like maybe 4 boy groups. P1 Harmony, next to BTS, is the boy group that I stan the most. I also met a really good friend that I talk to this day at the concert, and I also plan on meeting them at this next P1 Harmony concert in a few weeks. The best concerts that I've been to are the ones that I go and interact with other K-pop fans, make friends. The highlight of the entire night is when they were performing Lemonade off of their debut album, and the audio halfway through the performance cut out. So they performed the entire rest of the song completely live, no backtrack, just a cappella, and they performed all the choreo too, full speed. It was one of the most impressive things that I have seen in K-pop. And then the members said they felt bad about a technical issue that wasn't even their fault, and then they performed Lemonade again, the audio not cutting out this time, and they sounded just as good. It's a concert that I went into being a fan and came out being a stan. So that should show you how good this group is live. They're going on tour again. If you have a chance to stop by one of these places before their tour ends, I would highly recommend it. They are amazing live performers.
Yeah. Oh.
I saw August D at All State Arena, and let me just tell you, I have never been in an audience quite like this. Everyone with their army bombs, synced up. It's seriously something that you have to experience live to understand. It literally felt like a primetime college football game day. The energy was just intense. Yoongi was a fantastic live performer. I mean, the dude is incredibly talented. The set design was amazing. The song selection was as good as it could be. And due to the sheer size of BTS, it is potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see a BTS member perform on a concert tour. It's the only K-pop concert I've ever actively cried at. I started crying when Seesaw started playing. It was a crowd that actually lived up to my expectations for how hype they would get, especially during songs like Dachita. I think Yoongi is really great at embodying the song that he is performing. He's really able to communicate the emotion of whatever he's performing. There was theatrics involved, there was pyrotechnics. It was a crazy-ass K-pop concert, especially for an arena. And it is, without a doubt, the best K-pop concert I have ever been to. So that's the video. I know this is a little different from content that I normally make, and I don't plan on making content like this in the future. I just thought it would be a nice little video idea. I was going to turn this into a podcast episode, but ultimately decided to just make it an independent video instead. One of the highlights that I've experienced being a K-pop fan is going to K-pop concerts. Like, again, all these concerts I've been to have been great. I've had mostly positive experiences with every concert I've been to. I haven't personally experienced a ton of the negatives I see about K-pop concerts, like the fights, the toxic fans, the lack of hygiene. Maybe I just got lucky, but I honestly think that when K-pop fans come together for a concert, it tends to bring out the positives of what K-pop can be. I think there's still a lot of people out there who are embarrassed to say they like K-pop because it's still relatively niche. Like, it's a lot bigger now, but still a lot of stereotypes, especially in the West, that float around revolving K-pop. So there's still a lot of people who are not exactly in a rush to reveal they love K-pop. So for music to be able to bring together people in that way is a special thing. So tell me some of your K-pop concerts you've been to, which ones you enjoyed the most. Again, this isn't like an objective ranking of which group is better than which. This is just a personal ranking based off my experiences. I'm really excited for some of these concerts coming up, like P1 Harmony again. Super excited for ATEEZ. IU is a huge bucket list one. This list is definitely going to change over the next couple of months, but I'm pretty excited for those concerts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll get back to my normal essay content, but Look forward to the podcast. I'm still currently putting that together, dealing with getting situated in school right now, but still putting that together. Probably going to be releasing sometime this summer. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.